Hey there, all you people.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I got to turn this way up. It's noisy in here in this kitchen. I'm in a different kitchen.
I'm in a different place too. My daughter had surgery this morning and I'm at her house this afternoon. Thank God we're not cooking together.
Well, I hope she's okay.
Yeah. She's just in pain after surgical hurts. They had to remove her gallbladder.
Okay. All right. So let's start with maybe a quick little Q&A. Somebody's already sent me at least one question earlier today. And so, hold on, I got an alarm going off.
How are you ladies?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Just got off work. I'm tired.
If you hear any noises, my kiddos are eating dinner at the table right next to us. So
Yeah, you're fine. I
Creative
never heard any
cooking.
background noises with you all.
oh, it's because I usually hide them.
Oh,
What gets hided?
The kids, they're eating at the table next to me, so they're on super high alert to be good.
Oh, okay. Are you oh, you already fed them. So
Yeah, they're in the middle of eating.
what's for dinner?
Homemade mac and cheese with with broccoli and hot dogs.
Okay. Well, the
Sounds
first two
good.
are all right.
The
Listen,
hot dogs were to keep them quiet.
A bribe.
fair enough. So I got a question earlier this morning about, is there a trick? Is there a quick and easy way to especially take the leaves off of thyme? And Tara, I'm sorry. The short answer is there are no tricks. And I joke that that's why we call thyme, because it takes a lot of it. Personally, this is just me personally, not something we necessarily do in the restaurant, but I grow thyme, and thyme is really, it can be invasive in your garden if you grow it. So you got to keep it trimmed back anyway. So I'm always trimming some thyme, put it in a lunch sack, paper bag, and just let it dry. And in that paper bag, when it's all nice and dry, I mean a month, you shake it really good, and you can pull the stems out kind of like hair. And then what's left at the bottom are all of your dried leaves. What happens with any herb when you dry it, it concentrates the flavor. Did we, I don't remember if we did this in Food One or we talked about this in Food One, but it's something that you need to know and just remember for future reference. The ratio typically is 3-1. So you by concentrating the flavor of the herb, by dehydrating it, by drying it, getting rid of the water, it takes 3 times fresh to equal 1 time dry.
Is there any truth to the rumor you have dried thyme or dried rosemary and you put it in the palm of your hand and you rub it to kind of release, I guess?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I do that always with rosemary. In part, you've got a stem, or the leaf is, especially if it's dried, it'll poke in your gums and it can actually hurt, I guess. My daughter that made me a grandpa over Christmas, she used to say when she was little, because I like rosemary in my pizza sauce, in my spaghetti sauce.
Mhm.
I leave it whole, or I always did. And Caitlin would say, Daddy, no sticks. And that was her way of saying, take the rosemary, break it down.
Mhm.
And so it doesn't make it stronger. But by being smaller, it infuses its flavor quicker.
It releases the oils.
Yes, well, you're going to cook them out anyway.
Yeah.
The point is, if you break it down smaller, you release those oils out into whatever it is you're cooking. It releases faster. So ground thyme powder, ground rosemary is not stronger than dry rosemary, but a little bit goes a long, long way. So a teaspoon of ground herb is not the same thing as a teaspoon of the pieces, the leaves. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So that this is one of those areas, if we follow our baking and pastry friends, we would be a lot more consistent if we did this by weight rather than doing it by measure. Because is a cup of flour measured by a scoop, a cup of flour measured by a scoop, are they both exactly the same? No, they never
I
are.
have baking one right now, and I never believed the difference, but it's huge.
But 6 ounces of flour, always 6 ounces of flour,
Right.
measure 6 ounces, 6 ounces, 6 ounces. Okay, so a lot of times when we do our cooking at home, hopefully never in the restaurant world, but at home especially, we tend to gravitate towards the main feature of the meal. So for Tara's kids, that means we probably would make the hot dogs first and let them rest while we make the mac and cheese. And nobody likes broccoli anyway, so that's for the pigs so that we have bacon. I thought we had established this last semester and again. Anyway, I need to watch what I'm saying because I'm in the kitchen. So broccoli is good. Broccoli is wonderful.
Yum.
Favorite
I love
thing.
broccoli.
Broccoli is the best. Go broccoli.
My kids love broccoli, so it's not. It's like one of their favorites. They'll eat it before the other stuff.
Oh, hallelujah. That's so, I
Yeah.
was one of those kids. Anyway, we're going to do broccoli today. We want to look at the whole meal we're preparing and then work backwards. What takes the longest to cook? Do that. Get that started, and we'll stack up and have multiple things going on at the same time. Okay. I already did my mise, which make this go a lot smoother, as always the case when you mise first. All the way to the point I've got a pot simmering right now. Let's see if I can get the cameras right. I think it's right there. The lighting is funny in here. I'm in a kitchen upstairs, not where I usually am, so I'm not sure how. Let me do this. Woo. How's that? Can you see that better?
Yes.
Hey, Chef, that was another question I had. A lot of the videos were talking about sauteing the broccoli, but then you were asking to steam it. So I didn't know which way you wanted to go.
We're not gonna we're not gonna saute it. I probably did that in a video before. I put up a video of saute. We sauteed quite a bit already, and we're gonna saute some more. So if you really want to, that's fine. The main part of today's lab is learning how to grill. And so we're going to steam broccoli. I've got a pan on. It's just at a simmer. I've going to turn it down just a little bit more because all I want is the steam. Okay. I thought I had you know, those fan steamer baskets. It's like, I don't know, $3-4 from Walmart. They just kind of, they're in like
Mhm.
a tight dome, and they've got feet, and they just open up and fit to your pan. I thought I had one of those in my office, and I don't. Great, because we did poor man's sous vide last week, and we're going to do a poor man's steam. I'm going to show you that. If you have one of those steamer baskets, great. If you don't, I'm not telling you what to do, but you know, maybe you want to go to Walmart and spend $5 or $6. I don't know what they are. They're not real expensive. Except inflation is going to be 192% just this month. So you might just want to save every little penny you have for tomorrow or the next day or next week or whatever. What's going to take the longest in today's meal are the potatoes. So even fingerling potatoes that are smaller, we're looking at a good half hour to 45 minutes. So that we get some caramelization, we get some good color. Because remember, color is flavor, right? We talked a little bit about Maillard. We'll show a little bit more of that. The Maillard reaction is going on when we roast with these potatoes. We're adding a few things for flavor, but it's color development that is really going to be bold flavor. There's sugar, actual sugar in the potatoes, in the starch. And so these ought to brown really nice or caramelize really, really nice and give us a golden color. If you like a little bit of crunch with little darker potatoes like I do, then you're going to be closer to 45 minutes, maybe an hour. But we'll see how long this goes. I have a sheet pan. If you've ever done this, like for biscuits, let's see if those little brown bits at the bottom of the pan. This is just brown butter. So I put a couple of tablespoons of butter in a sheet pan and pop that in the oven. Another chef was using this kitchen before, and mistake sometimes is not paying attention to the temperature of the oven. I smelt it. I got it out in time, but brown butter is nice and delicious. Again, brown is beautiful, wonderful color, flavor, delicious flavor. We like that. I cut my fingerling potatoes lengthwise, if you can tell, and just set them here in the water until I was ready. You don't, fingerling potatoes that's the full potato. Okay, it's not a baby potato. So fingerling potatoes are those potatoes that you got whenever you picked up this product from culinary school. We treat them like any other potato, but you don't want to waste these by making mashed potatoes, or just chop these down, dice them into small or medium dice for hash browns or something like that. You want to keep these whole. I like them cut in half lengthwise. You may cut them in half, maybe on the bias, depending on the look that you want on your plate. I did the long ways, and let me go drain this water. All right. I have, where did we go? I'm going to put a little bit of shallot. You don't have to do this. You can put onions. You can put nothing. I'm going to put a little garlic.
Would you like us to do that as well, or just watch it this time?
Just watch it this time, okay?
Okay.
Because I would imagine most of you have a grill maybe on your back deck, and we're not going to grill together. We're going to talk about grilling, and then that way you can do this later on in the week. You should have. Did I send an email? I think I sent an email. I know I put up a course announcement, but you have to be in Blackboard to see the course announcement.
Right. I got it on my phone, so it was more, yeah, it was more an email from the school.
Okay, I did both. So I was asked about, taking herbs off the stems nice and easy. Rosemary works nice and easy.
Mhm.
I can take the rosemary. So I have the plant side of the stem, and then I have the tip. If I just hold on to the tip and I gently pull some of the leaves back, I just pull the stem through my hand the opposite direction. Here I've got rosemary leaves. And fresh rosemary doesn't stick in your teeth like a dry rosemary. And so up here at the top, if I want to use all of this, then I just pull those off. Thyme will do the same thing, but I have to do one stem at a time. I have to make sure that this stem see that? A larger stem that has branches off of it. I would need to pull these little branches off. Most people just take the time, feel the time. Not even a courtesy laugh.
Hey, Chef,
Yes.
I know if you have a grater, if you take your strands and run it backwards through the grater, you can shave the leaves off that way too.
There you go.
Yeah. The problem with thyme
Sometimes.
is that thyme you'll pull off these side branches. See what I'm saying? You've got to take those off and then run each branch through one at a time.
Right.
So I try to find the ones that are already single branches. Do y'all hear that annoying beat?
Well,
Yes.
I hear it. It's not annoying though, but I hear it.
Are you in the baking lab?
I'm in the baking lab.
That we have that every week. I mean, someone's got to go over and turn it off.
Mhm.
I can take my tongs and I can stir all that together. And I'm going to drop all this in my pan with the butter. I like butter because I like the flavor that it imparts. You don't have to use butter, but it does need some kind of fat. So if you want to use vegetable oil, canola oil, olive oil, whatever it is that you like to do. In a hot preheated oven, you're going to get that Maillard, you're going to get the color development first on the pan side of the potatoes. And so I put the cut side down because that's where I would like that to start. And then in the oven it goes.
What temperature do you put your oven at?
For this, just 350 is fine. It doesn't have to be a super hot oven. Now this is a convection oven, and I've got the fan blowing and the fan on high. So it might finish sooner rather than later. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to do actually is move this camera. Let's see if I can move this camera over and get a good shot of this food processor going on. Okay. Inside, let's see. I've got rosemary. I've got thyme. I already took the time to pluck the thyme. Thyme. Get it? Okay.
Yes.
Smile at least out of Terry, so that makes me feel good. I got my rosemary, thyme. I've got a small whole shallot. Sometimes the larger pieces of shallot you might have two sections. I've got about 2 cloves of garlic. These were small cloves. I've got about 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 1 whole stick of butter. Okay. This is easy in the food process. You got to let the butter get all the way to room temperature to try to do this by hand. But this is our sauce. And so I'm going to process it in the food processor, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next.
Can I ask a real quick question about sauce? Last week after we finished, I was trying to make my sauce. And it just fell apart. It divided, it fell apart.
Okay.
I don't know what I did wrong.
Your pan's too hot.
Okay.
Too hot for too long.
It was a cast iron skillet, so yeah, it was a pain.
The benefit of cast iron skillet is the flavor that it imparts. Beautiful sear. The problem with a cast iron skillet is it doesn't cool down very quickly. And so any cream sauce, butter, and so your pork had all of the fat was butter.
Right. The pork
And
seared, it was beautiful, but that sauce was like, I'm not eating that.
Because it was too hot.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Chef, can you repeat how much of the ingredients you have in there? I went to go get a notepad, so I didn't have to
Sure.
hunt
Do
my
you
way.
hear me okay, or is this jacking up the microphone?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. 1 stick of butter. Look,
Check.
compound butter is exactly that. It's a butter paste. It's a butter that's flavored. You can do with this exactly anything that you want, but this flavor combination is going to be very, very nice on this steak. So we've got 1 stick of butter. We've got about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm using kosher salt. There. I've got I have the equivalent of about 1.5 teaspoons of thyme. And I have the same, just to put it in, give you a point of reference, it's about the size of my middle finger. I have 1 sprig of rosemary, about the same that I used in the potatoes. And fresh, it doesn't have to be chopped down if you're going to do this in a food processor. Okay, this becomes compound butter. Pepper, if you want pepper. Mexican spices, add some add some taco type things, some garlic, some onions, some cumin, maybe a little paprika, squeeze of lime, onion instead of shallot. The sky is the limit. You can make compound butters that are fruity. And so, you know, a butter, think of things that you might like on a biscuit. There's a good compound butter. A biscuit, butter, mix in your favorite jam, a little cinnamon and some strawberry jam mixed with the butter to make this compound butter. That is amazing. If you've never tried that before, just a little bit, a pinch of cinnamon with strawberry is really an amazing flavor combination.
Chef, do you have shallot or garlic in there?
I have shallot and garlic. Did I miss that?
Yeah, how much?
Yeah.
So my shallot is one small shallot, probably 2 teaspoons. If it were all, I had it already mixed, and about a teaspoon of garlic mixed.
You went out, did you say about 2 teaspoons of shallot?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The food processor, though, you can drop the shallot in whole. You can 2 or 3 cloves of garlic in whole. If they're big, larger cloves, I would go with 2. If they're smaller, like I was using today, then probably go about 3. Now, on my board here, I'm going to get out some food film, some plastic wrap. This is way too much, but when you do television, when you do record it, you do a little bit. All right, can you see what that looks like inside? It's butter.
That's just one stick of butter?
Huh?
That's just one stick of butter?
This is 1 stick of butter.
Huh, okay, thank you.
It's not going to be exactly a stick. I cut it off of a pound of butter,
Right.
pound block. So it's roughly 1 stick.
That's like a load of butter.
I'm going to get all of this out that I can. So I don't want to waste any of it. I can smell these potatoes already. Hey, somebody really does need to invent smell-o-vision.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to take culinary school to a whole new.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did I mute? Sorry if I wasn't on mute.
Did you ask something?
I was asking if I was on mute or not when I was yelling at my children.
Oh, you were on mute.
Yes,
so
you were. We didn't hear it.
Good. Sorry about that. If I...
We're all parents.
Yes.
That's right.
Give it a little squeeze, you know, with the plastic wrap folded over. Get back here where you can see it. There we go. How's that?
Good.
Try to get any air bubbles out of it. And give it a nice big roll like sushi. Okay. I'm going to grab the sides and I'm going to press it against the board. Okay, it's not going to roll on the board very well. So I'm going to move this out of the way just for a second. It'll do it just fine on the table. I keep doing this until it gets tighter and tighter. And now I have this flavored butter sausage. Okay, it's like this sausage roll, and the plastic wrap is my sausage casing. This is going to go in the refrigerator. And just like butter, this can stay in the refrigerator for a long, long time. You're only going to use this once in a while. What you make today or what you make this week for your steak, for class, if it's something that you really like and you want to keep it for grilling in the spring or in the summer, then maybe pop it in the freezer. And I use it up too fast at home. So I know several months this will last in the freezer without getting freezer burned and anything like that. Good Christmas gift too, homemade from a foodie to other that are expecting foodie gifts, especially if you make all kinds of flavors. If you Google compound butter, I promise you, you're going to get all kinds of stuff show up.
That's a good idea.
I'm going to put this in the walk-in, and we'll come back to it later. So, stand by a minute. I'm also going to check potatoes. That going on right there. You can,
Looks good.
the skins are kind of wrinkling just a little bit. I'm going to turn these over in about 5 more minutes. We can take a peek underneath. Yeah, it's starting. We're going to come back in about, we'll come back in about 5 minutes with these potatoes. All right, next thing we're going to do here is let's talk about the grill. We've got 5 or 10 minutes to kill before we move on to the next thing, and so there we go. This is a commercial char grill, 36-inch char grill. So these are pretty standard size. It's 3 feet wide. It's 1.5 feet deep, 36 by 18 inches. Regulating heat to have even heat on a char grill is virtually impossible. So you get to know the character of your grill. If you see these kind of white spots, right here, right up here.
Yes.
Right.
Those are the hot spots. That's the hot zone. Now I turn
Okay.
so I don't melt this camera. Turn it back up here just a little bit. You might see some orange glow underneath. Back on. I'm going to call and get somebody to fix that walk-in door.
I was going to say, he needs someone there to go turn the walk-in off.
Yeah, I do. When you get to know the character of your grill, then you can utilize hot zones and cooler zones on on your walk-in. The hot zones are going to be where you sear and get that the Maillard reaction, the nice, delicious color.
Yeah.
And the grill marks, these hash marks that are kind of diamond-shaped crisscross.
Mhm.
Use the hot part of the grill to do that. The opposite, the other side of the grill, back here where it's cooler or off here on the side, that's where we'll let the other side of the steak finish cooking, so it'll cook slower. Okay. Your challenge is going to be, let me move to a different camera here. Your challenge is going to be medium rare. On your plate presentation, I want you to do some kind of plate presentation that includes you presenting the steak cut open in some way. So you're going to maybe grill it whole, but you're going to cut it down to a more reasonable plate size. I want to see medium rare. Okay. If you hold your hand up, if you kind of pinch the muscle right underneath your thumb, at the base of your thumb, with your hand relaxed, your meat feels like this, that's rare. If you don't pinch hard, just touch the tip of your thumb and the tip of your index finger and feel that muscle again. Okay. Slight difference, that's medium rare. Okay. Now your disgruntled driver highway communication finger, pinch that, that's medium. Your ring finger, medium well. Your pinky, well done. Now listen to this. This is very important. Listen to Chef. Chef is wise, right? Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay. Marcus, you've heard that before. Yes, okay. Listen to Chef. Chef is wise. If you want a medium steak, mistake. Always, always mistake. You cook it to medium and take it off the grill or take it out of the oven or whatever and let it rest. You've had a term, I don't remember this semester or last. I know you already had this term. Somebody tell me what carryover cooking is.
Oh, I know it too. Oh.
Do too.
Oh.
It's when the internal
leftover heat
temperature
from
It's on the tip of your tongue.
You don't put it in an ice bath to make it stop.
Oh.
No, Erlene, no. It's not an ice bath making it stop.
Right.
Thinking of Blanche.
It's the extra heat from the exterior of the steak that goes into the steak to continue cooking it.
Laws of thermodynamics. While the steak is resting off the heat, it's cooling. At the beginning of it cooling, it doesn't give off its heat. It pushes the heat into the core as the exterior cools. Okay. I didn't write the laws of thermodynamics. I guess Jesus did. So we just have to obey. And what that means for us is while the steak is resting, the steak's internal temperature is going to rise 5 to 7 degrees. Look at any chart of any kind of protein, any kind of meat, chicken, turkey, lamb, pork, beef, doesn't matter what it is. 5 to 7 degrees is the next degree of doneness. So if you want medium, you cook it to medium. By the time you sit down to eat, it's been 10 or 12 minutes since it came off the heat. You're eating medium well. And you sit at the table and you say, oh, well, the flavor is really good, but it's not exactly what I wanted. There's a little more room between rare and medium rare because they're kind of varying degrees of rare. You don't take the steak off if it's blued or black and blue. which is just hard seared on the outside and still cold, raw in the middle. I love that for ribeye and filet. When we do filet next week, I'll probably cut into mine and you will see raw beef tenderloin, raw filet mignon in the middle. It's best. I won't actually do that because we'll do that to medium rare as well. That is the most, that's the most traditional degree of doneness that guests and customers order, especially in higher end places. And so you need to be familiar with it. I want to see medium rare. I don't care how you like it. I don't care how you want to eat it. Once you've done your plate presentation, if you eat well done, then put it back on the grill, take your steak and pop it in the oven, or I don't recommend it, but you can nuke it if you want to, pop it in the microwave. That'll make it a little rubbery. And so that's not really pleasant. But I want to see plate presentation medium rare. Okay.
Question.
I'm the steak. Yes, Arlene.
Me, yes. For Christmas, I got these little thermometers that say medium well, you know, and it goes to the certain temperature. So if I were to put it in there on the grill, it's still going to do the overcooking when I take it off, correct?
It's still going to overcook. Carryover cooking is a law of physics that it doesn't matter. Okay. And so you three, I hesitate to make any kind of a judgment call, but Arlene, you have shared this with me before. You're not in culinary school training to become a chef.
No, I've had my career. I'm doing this for family.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's fine. My expectation of everyone is still a professional standard.
Right. I may do it. I don't know.
We carry these thermometers. You know, if we follow the textbook, I should be teaching you how to use the thermometer, but I'm wanting to give you real world what we do in the restaurant.
Right.
And we don't want to pierce the skin. We don't want to pierce the meat. We don't want to probe the meat with the thermometer. Even one of those thermometers that stays in the turkey while you pop it in the oven. We want to use other methods so that all of the juice,
right,
flavor of meat is really coming from two things. And it is not Auntie Joe's marinade or Bubba Smith's secret special spice. That's not where the flavor is really coming from. The flavor is coming from the Maillard reaction, caramelization, nice brown colors for our steak. It's going to be the grill marks, and flavor is coming from rendered fat. We are definitely going to experience that this week. That's why we're doing ribeye, meat and seafood, cut ribeye last week. We're using the ribeye, lots of fat. Fat is flavor, color is flavor. We want to keep all of that rendered fat in the steak. Think about your Thanksgiving turkey. You take your thermometer out and you poke that turkey right by, or you poke the turkey in the thickest part of the breast.
All the juices come out.
It's not quite there. You poke that thermometer out. What happens at that hole?
All the juices come out.
And that is flavor. You're losing flavor.
Yes.
So, I don't like thermometers.
I'm just nervous about getting it, you know, and feeling it. And if you can't go back and undo it, you can do it a little more.
If you've gone too far, you've gone too far. It is what it is.
Right.
And, you know, to present a plate this week, you know, actual productivity are going to count part of the 20 points of plate presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you show me a well-done steak and I've asked for medium rare, you're looking at an 18 or 19 out of 20. And from a grade standpoint, it's not a showstopper, but I've said my piece. So movie quote from Old Brother, Where Art Thou? Piece and counted to 3.
Yeah.
So now that I said my piece and counted to 3, Arlene, if you feel more comfortable using the thermometer, use the thermometer. But the
Well, in the
thermometer,
back of my mind, I know I'm losing a lot of my flavor on my juice, and most of my family likes the medium rare. So I'm just like, and that was the 4-finger and the thumb for medium rare.
first index finger.
Okay.
Index finger and thumb. It's going to be a little bit soft. It's going to be red in the middle, but
Right.
it won't have any raw looking muscle fiber, that really glistening, almost translucent. That's rare. Red all the way through, but kind of red all the way through is medium rare. Opaque red with a little line of gray on the outside is going to be medium. About a third gray, very faint pink line, and about a third gray is going to be medium well.
Okay.
All the way through is well done. So there's a color,
Right.
if that helps you as well. All right.
I'm going to try it your way, chef.
Good. Just try it. And let's go here. And this lab, unfortunately, doesn't have any pepper up here. So I'm leaving the pepper off. And I am not going to trim this. While I cook it, I want all that fat. I might flare on the grill where the little grease drips are gonna flares, but I'm gonna salt it. That's it. Y'all don't do Cajun seasoning and special spice blend or anything like that. At least once in your life, taste a steak for what a steak is supposed to taste like. And so certainly in the camera, this is going to look like it's pretty heavily salted, but this stuff isn't brined or anything like that. So handle it. And depending on the steak that you pick up, what you were given, my steak here is about 1.5 inches.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
So it can handle, where's my, oh, these are my potatoes.
Now, Chef, you know, our instructions on our preparation sheet stated to trim the steak.
So I put that on there because oftentimes, if meat and seafood, for example, had not taken the fat cap off of the whole ribeye roast, there would be, and we would have talked about it, but since you asked it, we will. You see this big plug of fat right here?
Yes.
Yes.
Plug of fat would have been all the way up here, and that will cause a fire. To eat it, that would cause a fire. We want what we have right here. We want really no more than about 1/4 inch of fat along the top. We don't want to cut it off entirely. We want the fat, but we want some fat, not the whole big giant plug. So if you got a steak that does have like 1/2 inch, then you do want to trim some of that fat down just a little bit, but reserve about 1/4 inch. Does that make sense, Gary?
Oh, yes, it does. And I'll do that next time.
Did you already cut it off?
I did. I mean, I still have some
That's okay.
fat marbled through the steak. So I'm
You got the
good,
marbling you out, so it won't dry out.
but no, it won't. It's enough
And
marble.
I, for one, I don't eat it.
Yeah.
Eat all that fat. My father-in-law did, and he died 3 years ago. Okay,
I'm sorry.
let me change this. Let's look at the grill.
And also too, Chef, of course, I have a big grill outside, but I have this big old cast iron grill that you sit on your stove. It sits on 2 burners.
That
Is that
works
okay?
too. That's fun. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
What we're after is not charcoal. We're not after certain flavored, nut woods or fruit woods. This isn't smoking class. We're going to do that at the end of the semester. We'll do smoking, and we will probably do that all here at the culinary school. But we want hot grates. So on a grated cast iron skillet, you get that really hot, and you've got those hot grates. Okay. Notice it's at an angle, so you can't really see where I place the steak. How I place the steak on the grill. It's the steak and the grates are not 90 degrees on each other. The steak and the grates are 45 degrees on each other. So it's sitting on the grill at an angle. And that's going to be important for us to get those really, really nice diamond shaped grill marks. I got to turn this door off. The hardest part of this, until you do it several times, maybe for one or two of you or all of you, this might be a first time, a first experience. Certainly grilling to a specific degree of doneness. How long on this side? How long on that side? How long do I cook the steak? Never, ever, ever follow strictly a recipe that you find in a cookbook or on the internet. Time, it says 2 minutes on this side, 2 minutes on that side to grill a ribeye to medium rare. Well, how thick is that ribeye? Is it a 3.5 inch Alloy tomahawk ribeye? You're going to need more than 2 minutes. 2 minutes. If you do, it's going to be raw in the middle, and I will be very, very happy. See those beautiful marks?
Yes.
Now I turn the steak about 90 degrees from angle that it was on the opposite angle. When we turn this back over, you're going to see really, really nice grill marks. And generally, as a ribeye especially, as fat renders, a portion of the ribeye might curl just a little bit. And so the first side that you cook the ribeye on generally needs to be the presentation side of your ribeye. The other side, you won't get complete contact on all of the grill grates because some of the protein in the middle draws up, some of the fat renders and forces the steak up almost like a dome shape.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't get any stinking taller. Oh, well. We'll see what this other side does.
Jeff, did you ever flip over your potatoes?
Oh, hey, no.
5 minutes.
Let's give those a check.
Glad you remember it.
Ooh.
I guess they be looking good.
Ooh.
I love it like this. Look at that golden color right there.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they look good.
Little crunch. I'm just gonna turn them over like this. Well. Perfect. I'm gonna leave these over here where there's some heat. That's gonna go on my plate.
Chef, did you put it when you flipped it over on the steak? Did you put it on the cooler side of the grill?
Huh?
When you moved it, when you flip the steak over, did you put it on the cooler side of the grill?
It's a cooler white spot
Okay.
than what I started with. And so, yeah, I'm not using the cooler side because I'm just not going to. I've done this a lot. And
Ooh, pretty.
can you see the mark?
Yes.
It's pretty.
That's where we're at.
To keep it from curling, do you ever use an iron press?
No.
Okay. That's a no-no in culinary.
So, no, it's not necessarily a no-no.
Oh, okay.
And so there are some steakhouse, for example, just to be sure that they're 100% consistent, they'll have grill grates, iron, and they're specially made for that steak shop. They're already crisscrossed. And they're radiant heat, and they're really high-end piece of equipment. But if you go to those kind of steakhouses, and Steak and Ale was one of those kinds of restaurants, if you remember Steak and Ale.
Yes, I do. Yes.
They had one of those kind of grills that are all crisscrossed on the grates, on the grill itself.
And I
And
think Coy's did too. Remember Coy's?
Coy's, yeah, Coy's.
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
good places.
Yeah.
While the steak is resting, our potatoes have come out. Very important. We need to do one thing while the steak is hot.
TP it with foil.
No,
Oh,
no.
is
Okay,
that diner? Okay.
I'm gonna get this camera out of the way so I don't burn it up. Go into the fridge.
Get that butter. This steak looks so good. Y'all, I'm so hungry.
I could do the potatoes.
Smell
That
the
looks
steak now.
I had a brownie for lunch. I'm starving.
And I'm just gonna cut right into it. It hasn't been in long enough to, so super sharp knife helps. Save a little bit of butter for coming back later. Obviously, you want to take the plastic off. Now that butter is going to slowly melt on the steak.
Oh, it sounds so good.
I know, right?
Yes.
Don't y'all just hate this class? I mean,
With a purple passion.
ribeye next week. I mean, you got filet mignon.
Oh,
Holy cow.
man.
Well, yeah, these couple of weeks really is holy cow.
Yes.
All right, Terry gave me a full-on laugh. Now I feel good now. But
It is, I'm thinking the
They're off
cuts
at
of
the
meat that
beginning
we're
of the
using, it is
semester.
pretty much.
while this is resting and the butter is melting, and while I still have not much water left, let's get a little more water. Don't need a lot. Okay. This is the way I like it. I've got the broccoli cut down a little bit smaller. I don't need to cut it on my plate. And this might help me with some presentation, how I'm going to present the broccoli. And my poor man's way of doing this, my poor is also a piece of equipment. Maybe you have, maybe you don't. But I'm just using a fine mesh basket.
Yeah, me too.
Steaming is exactly how it sounds. The product is cooking by the steam that is developed underneath. Very, very, very common, I mean, everyday stuff in Asian food. I'm just going to set that right on, and it needs to be covered. So by covering it, we hold the steam in, but it is just steam that's doing the cooking. And in just a few minutes, we'll pull that basket off, and then we're going to squeeze a little bit of lemon and just a pinch of salt. The broccoli is going to be good to go. And then we'll put this all together for a plate. And so yeah, if y'all just want to wait for a second, I don't have a plate idea yet necessarily. I'm up here in the bake shop. There's not really great plates. So let's see.
Jeff, I think if you face the back of the bake shop over to the far left by the pots and pans, there are some plates.
Yeah, I know. I've taught in here a lot. So in multi-purpose, this is the multi-purpose lab, not the bake shop, even though there are some baking and pastry.
Right. We don't get to cook in the bake shop right now either, so we're using that lab.
Yeah, the multi-purpose lab.
Yes, sir.
Chef, when are they going to release the summer available classes?
They are, so we're just about finished at the departmental side. The 22nd of this month is the due date for all the university to have it sent to the registrar's office. And I believe it is April 15th. Same as, well, you don't see my air quotes. Same as tax day. I think tax day this year is actually April 18th. But April 14th, 15th, somewhere around there, it's an odd time, like a Thursday or something like that. When summer and fall registration opens. And so I believe our system, I've got to be careful, this is being recorded, but I think our system is a little bit goofy in that I don't believe you get to see it as a student until registration opens. And as soon as registration opens, you'll hear from me a lot. Certainly in the culinary school, you'll hear from every instructor as well as your advisor. Hey, it's time to register. Are you ready to register? We want to get you registered. We do that. We're not trying to be harassing, but the culinary school has a current enrollment that puts us in we only have limited seats and limited classes. And so there's not room for everybody to take just everything. And so first come, first serve. Tara, you've done a lot of school in different environments. You know, maybe everybody else has. Terry and Erlene, I don't know how much other schooling you have. You both have degrees. If you
Yes,
were
sir.
back in the days that you went to school before, you know, take an English class. Well, even here, there's 35 English classes, 35 sections to choose from. You're going to have 3 options for meat and seafood. I think 2 or 3 options for stocks, 2 or 3 options for garde manger. There will be 1 food 3 just because of the food 2 enrollment. Right? Green,
Pretty.
Yes.
crunchy, mush, the heat off. And with the heat off and the lid off, I can just leave it there for a bit to stay hot while I figure out how and what I want to do to plate this. So let's come back right here. I believe this one. Nope. That's the camera I moved. Okay, so because that's the biggest stack that we have in here, I'm actually using a bowl. So I don't know, here's a bowl. So
I love potatoes.
Oh, me too.
Mhm.
oh, y'all can't taste through the
We can say, is it good?
oh, it's terrible. You're gonna hate this meal. So now remember, just because you cooked it, or just because you were given so much in your basket, doesn't mean you put all of it on a single plate, right?
Right.
Right.
Turn off the alarm.
That beeping door will drive me nuts.
It does. A 4-hour class, it makes me nuts.
I
When
could-
it starts
I
going
couldn't
off,
do it.
who's going to get it? Everybody looks at everybody else. Go get it.
So is the sensor broke on it or something?
I don't know. I guess it drops to a certain thing, but like I said, when it goes off,
Oh.
everybody's looking to see who's going to shut it off.
Oh my.
Now this has rested long enough that I've lost a little bit of juice, but most of the juice is back in the protein fibers.
Mhm.
That, okay? And so I'm gonna try to do something here, I think.
Hey, Chef,
Yes.
I know, what is the what is the taste everyone is looking for when they eat a rare or medium rare steak? Because when I taste it, it tastes like blood and smells like blood to me. And so it's a turn off to me. But others love it. Those that are real steak eaters love that. Does that mean I'm not a real steak eater if I don't love that?
No,
Just not a
not necessarily.
cannibal.
Not at all. For me, if the steak is done right, the flavor is the same from a rare steak to a well done steak.
Okay.
If it's done right, then it's about texture.
Okay.
And maybe I was supposed to be born a bear. I like raw cow.
Yeah.
It depends on the cut of the meat. Most beef, it's ribeye or it's
Right.
I want blue, sometimes called black and blue, with
Right.
old still in the middle. Or medium rare that's still kind of bloody.
Okay.
My son likes it that way. He says it is the texture that it melts in your mouth. You don't have to.
That's what those diehard steak
Right.
eaters say. I know growing up, and even when I was married, my husband and my father, you know, we would go to steakhouses, and what they told me to do, because my parents told me this growing up, and then I implemented that later in life as well, even now. Go to a steakhouse, order your steak medium rare. Because if you order a well done steak, they're not going to give you the choice cut. Is that true?
If I could say it this way, if it really is a crap hole steakhouse,
Oh, okay.
treat you that way.
Yeah.
If it's a Coy's kind of steakhouse,
It was growing up. Yeah.
with a smile on their face, they're going to give you the same cut of meat. They're just going to bring ribeye in the cooler,
Right.
off the shelf. They're going to give you the neck fillet off the shelf or the neck sirloin that's off the shelf.
Yeah. Because they always said, well, I wouldn't say always said, but you know, you just knew. And so I just always would do that. I order it medium rare that way so I can get the good cut and then ask them, can they cook it a little longer?
Well, it's just nightmare. That's what she said.
Kitchens
Now-
don't like that.
Huh?
Kitchens don't like that
Okay.
because that actually that
Well, I don't always do that. I just ask for a well done off the top. So I don't really care.
that's better. That's better for the kitchen.
Yeah.
Also consider if you're sending your plate back for them to cook a little bit longer. If it's a really good place, if you've already bit into the steak, they pretty much have to fire you a new one.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Sanitation issue between, leaving the kitchen and making it to your table and then you sending it back to the kitchen. On next orders, they're working on other orders and you send it back, that kind of disrupts the flow as well. And so
I understand. And now I'm not a picky eater, so but anyway, that looks pretty.
Yeah, it does.
So I don't know. This is just what I'm wanting to show you is first of all, I'm in a bowl, so that's a little bit hard. This is how I might have plated if the whole thing was a plate, utilizing negative space. Negative space is going to draw your eye, creating some height, mixing textures, mixing color. I like the potatoes with a little crunch, the real dark on the outside, the flavor from the golden brown and soft potato in the middle. That's a perfect potato for me. You can make your potatoes however you want to make your potatoes, doesn't matter. You don't have to plate like this, but this is just, I don't know, it's an idea. This is just one way, okay? That's it.
Is the butter on top to add to the flavor profile of the steak?
Yeah, the butter on top is it's the sauce.
Okay.
Sauce is always adding, sauce is about, let me come back here. Sauce is about flavor. Sauce is about appearance.
Okay.
I think I've mentioned in classical plating, the sauce here, the compound butter, was prepared separate than the protein. And so generally sauce is presented under or around that protein. Well, in this case, right off the grill, you put a pat of compound butter on the steak to let that butter melt, and it adds to the juices, the fat that has rendered another layer of fat, and that fat has been flavored with whatever herbs and aromatics and wine, even whatever it is that you added to that steak.
Okay.
What else y'all want to know? Hurry up, I want to eat.
What time's dinner?
I'm gonna eat right now. Y'all, I did it this way so y'all don't feel like that, 7:30, we're ending this and then you go finish off your cooking. Next week, I believe, won't be the case. Next week, we're all gonna cook together again. Okay?
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I know how I cook. Well, it's rare I cook a steak anyway, but I know when I cook steaks, if I don't do them outside, do you recommend that I turn my burners on high heat or medium high heat to obtain the lines, or what?
As high as you can.
Okay.
As high as you can do it and not smoke up your house.
Okay.
Inside on a cast iron that might still have a little residual grease on it. To get those lines, that happens with high heat. It is searing. We will study that. This will make, Terry, so much more sense when we sear filet next week.
Okay.
And we'll all sear together. If you have cast iron, I'm gonna put in the equipment list, like see what else we're doing. We're doing braised Brussels sprouts, and we're doing Dutchess potatoes. So you'll do a little bit of cooking in advance. Part of your will be making mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And we'll finish those potatoes together. So you'll need 2 saute pans.
2 saute pans.
One for your Brussels sprouts. You'll do bacon, then Brussels sprouts in the same pan. And you'll need 1 saute pan for your filet.
Okay.
But the one for your filet, if you have a cast iron saute, a cast iron skillet, then that sears so much better. You might want to use cast iron.
Okay.
If you want to get this in advance, again, for next week, the culinary school legally cannot send students home with alcohol. And the sauce that we're going to make, the classical sauce for filet au poivre, starts with cognac. And I'll ask them probably to open up some beef stock. We can make a very delicious sauce with beef stock instead of cognac, but it's a completely different sauce.
Okay.
If you want to, and you want the full experience of filet au poivre, and you want the full experience of fire in your kitchen, Kara, if you want to put on a show for your kids, or if you want to put them away, because for you, we're learning the safe way to handle fire in the kitchen. You don't want them to, see and think that fire is good, even though it is really good. But we're going to learn how to handle fire, because cognac is not going to blow up. It's going to come pretty dang close.
Oh, for what? Okay.
Oh yeah, it's just going to flame. That's where all my hair went. My hair went with the cognac and the brandy and the vodkas and things like that. Okay,
But that's an option. That's an option. I don't have to do that.
it's an option. You don't have to do that.
Oh, okay.
I will, and I'm going to show it, and there's going to be big fire.
Let me remodel the kitchen first. Because right now, it's a 100-year-old house, so I don't want to. This is a family home. I don't want to.
I do the same thing in my house. It's a 100-year-old house, and
Okay.
the first time I did that for Food 2 online, my wife got a little bit nervous, and after I was done, she said, "You're going to burn the house down." And I said, "No, just the kitchen. That's going to speak." So, what's the problem?
He said, just the kitchen.
Anything else?
No.
Thank you.
It'll be a little bit, but hopefully here in the next hour or so before I leave the culinary school, I'm going to try to have the video put up in. If I go home without uploading the video in Blackboard, then if y'all have noticed, sometimes I kind of forget until Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I'll try to get it taken care of here tonight.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Good night, y'all.
Nighty
Good
night.
night. Bye.
Enjoy the ribeye.
All right. We will. Thank you.